Springfield Township. And as is our usual practice, we begin our meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance and ask everyone in attendance to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Price, will you call the roll?
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman.
Here.
Mr. Young.
Here.
Mr. DeLauro.
Here.
There'll be an opportunity for public input after we get through some items of business. First of all, I'm going to move that we dispense with reading of minutes of prior meetings and approve the same.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro.
Yes.
Next, I move to approve payment of bills and payroll as prepared by the fiscal officer, subject to audit.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro.
Yes.
Next, I move to acknowledge receipt of our fiscal officer's November 2022 report, subject to audit.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro.
Yes.
Next, I move to amend a motion that was previously made, and that's motion 261-22, which was authorizing expenditure from the American Rescue Plan Act funds for the renovation of the Lakefront Center in an amount not to exceed $66,830 and to be paid to Integrity Contracting for additional repair items. This is an amendment that, in view of some of the difficulties encountered, increased the price by about $6,000.
That is correct.
Do you have any explanation that you want to add to the thing? I mean, it's a beautiful, the center. I think the boards.
I think with any remodel, you always have to tack on a percentage for things that you didn't count on running into.
And I think it's the what's been achieved there is really nice.
Yes, I think it's been long overdue.
We will, in due course, be announcing an opening.
An open house, but you can come see it tomorrow too.
Okay.
To look at it.
So people who are attending the tree lighting could have an opportunity to take a quick look at
Yes.
the changes that have been made in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro.
Yes.
I meant to add, appreciation for the hard work that you've been involved in doing up there. And your ideas, Mr. DeLauro, greatly appreciated. Next, I'm going to move to adopt the attached resolution authorizing expenditure from the American Rescue Plan Act funds for the upgrade of the township's communication system in an amount not to exceed $19,950 and to be paid to Warwick Communications, Inc.
Second. That's
Roll
all
call,
right.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro.
Yes.
Next, I move to adopt the attached resolution authorizing expenditure from the American Rescue Plan Act funds for the installation of a surface water recharge structure in an amount not to exceed $12,200 and to be paid to Justice Company, LLC. Mr. Weinsheimer, maybe you want to...
Yeah, this will be a structure that we're going to be putting in a flooded area, or an area that floods quite often on A Street between Hain and Woodland. It's kind of a bowl area, so what ends up happening is the water ends up running over the road, causes flooding to the road, and it just doesn't go away for sometimes weeks. We had some soil surveys done there, and from the soil surveys we feel confident that we can put this structure in, which will basically create a hole approximately 10 feet deep, 6 to 8 feet in diameter. It'll have an inlet to the top of it. Water will run in there. It will then be able to infiltrate back into the surface, into the ground naturally. There could be times where you still may get some of the overrun of the road, but the idea is that as soon as the rain stops, within a reasonable amount of time, we're going to recharge that water back into the ground instead of staying flooded for possibly 1 to 2 weeks later.
This is a engineered solution to a problem that's existed for quite a number of years, where heavy rain would have has made the road totally impassable.
Totally impassable, and worse in the winter, because if we get ice melt, or we get melt of the snow, and then we get refreeze, actually you could have 2 to 3 inches of solid ice on the road. So hopefully this will take care of this problem. If not 100% of the time, at least 80 to 90%, which will be a great improvement.
Was there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro, you have some matters for the relevant to the fiscal department?
Yes. I move to accept receipt and acceptance of $422,909.48 to the Fund Line 2221 Drug Law Enforcement Fund, and to amend the Certificate of Estimated Resources as prepared by the fiscal officer and submit to the Summit County Fiscal Office as attached.
I would second the motion. Chief, maybe you want to say a word. This is the result of good police work by the Springfield Township Police Department.
Yes, the officer did an outstanding job with this investigation, which resulted in over $400,000 that will be used for our police officers for things related to drug enforcement. So it is really a nice opportunity to do things for our officers and for our department, purchase equipment that we wouldn't have in our budget to normally buy. So.
In essence, it was money confiscated through the efforts of the police investigation.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Roll call.
No, we had a second.
Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. I move to approve the reallocation of appropriation of funds per the attached Exhibit A for proper documentation of expenditures.
We don't have Exhibit A up on the board?
No, I don't. Sorry, sir.
That's all right.
Hopefully I didn't delete it out of here already. Hang on here, see what we got. I already deleted it off of here. Let me find it. You've never asked me to put it up on the board. You caught me off guard. Chief over here laughing because he thinks it's funny. There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
So there's Exhibit A. And this is basically for the proper documentation of expenditures through the end of the year. I would anticipate that we would have another one of these probably in our final meeting as well.
Okay, I second the motion.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And I move to approve the supplemental appropriations budget for 2022, Exhibit B, as prepared by the fiscal officer and submit to the Summit County Fiscal Office.
And this involves the purchase of a vehicle
This is
for
correct.
the police department.
This
right?
is correct.
All right. I second the motion.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And I move to repay the advancement of $30,585 for the purchase of a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee from Fund 2221, 760, 790 to 1,000 General Fund pursuant to Motion 290-22.
I would second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman, you have some matters for the police department?
I move to approve the proposal from Hilshire Clark Electric in the amount of $7,135 and paid from Fund 2081-760-790 for completing the remaining door access system for the police garage addition.
I would second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
I move to approve the proposal from Silco Fire and Security in the amount of $3,475 and paid from Fund 2081-760-790 for completing the remaining door access system for the police garage addition.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
I move to approve updated grooming standards for police officers.
I would second that. Chief, do you have a date for that updated policy? Was that
To be
11/30 or is that 12/1?
12-1.
12/1,
Effective
okay.
12/1.
effective today.
Yes, sir.
Effective today.
And we'll, in adjournment, go over and see that the policy is in effect?
Yes, sir.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
I move to approve payments to B&C Communications, $4,299.83 for installation of 5 dash cams and 5 MDTs, line 2081-210-319.
And if I could say something to the board, these dash cameras we got on a grant, so it didn't cost anything from the police department's budget, but we did have to pay the cost to install them. So, along with the MDTs.
Okay. Well, I think they're essential equipment. I mean, the day of calling into dispatch and, long delays and not having available immediate information about locations. I mean, I think these are essential.
So our officers are now equipped with body-worn cameras, and then all the cruisers each cruiser has a dash cam installed as well, which the dash cam turns on when the officers activate their overhead lights.
I would second the motion.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman, you also have a matter for the Parks Department?
I move to approve the updated rental contract forms for rental of the Springfield Center on the Lake and Springfield Lake Gazebo with updated schedule of rental deposits and hourly fees per the attached rental agreement.
I would second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Having gotten through the business matters that we had to deal with this evening, we would open the floor for any public input. If there's anybody that's in attendance tonight that wants to speak to us about any issue or approach the board with information, we're available.
We have a near sellout today.
Do we have some announcements? We do.
Do we?
We do. I think I got
Maybe are you announcing the tree lighting?
We do have a tree lighting,
In case anybody didn't know, they'll see the announcement on our new sign. But, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I just have my, everyone's waiting patiently for my Channel
Okay.
1023 announcement, but we do have the tree lighting tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and Santa's going to be here for the kids, and
The Grinch,
the Grinch, and
Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou Who, and a couple other characters for in winter festivities, right? So
Okay.
I don't know what else we'll have. I think cookies and donuts and punch and
No punch water.
no punch water. Okay.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, punch is no good. Too much sugar in it. So All right.
But you have some announcements as to the
Yes.
cable programming.
Yes. Spectrum Community Channel 1023 that serves the communities of Springfield and Lakemore. People can tune in to Community Channel 1023 and find the day and times programs run, or you can check it out on our beautiful and informative website, springfieldtownship.us. Currently, they're running the program of the Lakemore 2022 Halloween Costume Contest, as well as the Springfield National Honor Society. As always, all recent community meetings are running on the channel as well. Don't forget to follow them on Facebook, Channel 1023, and the new Channel 1023 blog. Remember, this is your channel, so if there's something that you would like to see covered, please let the government officials know, or you can let them know on the blog or the Facebook channel. Currently, the following programs are running: the Lakemore Halloween Contest, the Springfield Board of Education meeting from November 16th, the Portage Lake Community Center Board of Education meeting from November 17th, the Lakemore Council meeting from November 21st, and the Springfield National Honor Society program from November 21st. And that's all I have.
Okay, any other announcements?
I do have two announcements. One is our officers stood outside last weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in front of Walmart to raise funds for the Springfield Cares program, and their efforts resulted in raising $3,480, which goes to Springfield Cares. Springfield Cares helps needy families throughout the year. The other event we have coming up is on December 10th, our annual Shop with the Cop program. We'll start off from Springfield High School at 10 o'clock. Officers will take children shopping at Walmart for the afternoon and then back to the high school for lunch afterwards.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else? And have I omitted to give anybody an opportunity to speak that's here and wants to? Okay,
Well, I just have one more thing.
okay.
Okay, I think we should make note. Thank you to Kitty for decorating it here. This is the first time in a long time we've had any decorations or whatever, and looks nice. And I guess that's it. I hope it was just Kitty doing it. I didn't want to miss anybody, so I feel all festive.
Trustee Chapman as well?
Oh, and Trustee Chapman. Okay, well, thank you. I didn't know, she doesn't usually do much, so I didn't know what she was doing, yeah, so.
We're going to prepare remarks for you in the future.
No, yeah, next time you better write something.
Okay. As long as I haven't omitted to give somebody an opportunity, I am going to move that we go into executive session. I move that the board adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of public employees. Also reviewing negotiations of bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms or conditions of their employment, and review of pending litigation. Such session to include the Board of Trustee members, its administrative assistant, and other department heads when called upon by the board. That's the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
I don't think we anticipate any motions following.
I don't think so.
Okay. If I'm wrong,
Then you're wrong.
you'll let me
Then
know.
we're wrong.
Okay.
All right. If you're wrong, it'll be the first time.
Okay. Thank you all.
Why did we make Jessica stay?